Good morning and welcome back. So today we're going to do a real quick recap on the gold top build. If you're watching for the first time, if you go to my channel and look at the main video, you will see that these two builds prior to the refinishes. So this is my build, that's your guys' build. I'm wrapping this one up. Like I said, if you want to see what they look like prior to that, go back and check out the previous videos. So let's just recap one more time here what's done to it and what I got to finish up. So we have here a 2017 Gibson Les Paul Tribute, and it used to just have the satin finish on the top and mahogany back, mahogany neck with the satin finish on the headstock. So we took your guys' build and mine down to the Lay's Loft in Akron, Ohio. And I opted to go all gold on this and put the black stinger on it with the Lay's logo on it. So again, if you're watching for the first time, one of the things I requested during the refinishes is to have both guitars have the Clusen holes filled. That was an oversight, didn't happen, no big deal. This was the vision I had for this guitar right from the beginning. These are off of my 2005 1960 Les Paul reissue. So I put those on there, and I figured if I want to, I can put the Gibson Grover Deluxes on there later. I did use the original switch plate and cavity, or pot cavity cover, just because they were a little scratched up and kind of matched the age look I was going for. Also, if you guys want to see the pots and everything, I did a short on that, but we will open this up again once the blue one is done. Right there, your guys' build, and we will open up the other Lay's build, the copper one, and check that out, as well as the Silver Burst triple pickup over there. Anyhow, moving on to this again. So we already covered the tuners. I put the single ply black truss rod cover on it. The neck is in absolutely perfect condition. Didn't have to do too much there. I just strung it up with the SIT strings, 1046s. It has a brand new Switchcraft 3-way switch in it with a aged collar and a true Gibson custom shop switch tip in the aged amber. I did go with the Antiquity Seymour Duncan aged pickups came with the rings, so that's all Seymour Duncan. I did do the Nashville to ABR1 bridge conversion, and it has the thumb wheels now, and I do have the ABR1 bridge with the wire, and a lightweight aluminum tailpiece, nickel, it's starting to age. And then moving on over here, I got OEM Gibson tone and volume knobs. This one had a little chip in it, that's why I never used them, so this was a perfect project for that. I did put the thumb bleeders on it. It does have 300K linear taper pots with 0.022 microfarad vintage discs from the 60s in it. Oh, let's see, we put the vintage strap locks on it, and I did have the maple cap. Traditionally, to all the tributes, that's what they do. So I made sure that they did that on both of the guitars, your guys' build and mine as well. So that looks real good. So what I have left to do with this build here, which I'm going to finish up today if I can figure out which way this camera goes. So I still have to intonate it and tune it up, set it up. And one oversight that I did do is when I was installing the input jack. By the way, that is a Tone Pro input jack that is a double lock, so it's a little upgraded thing to do to it, I guess. But anyways, lost my train of thought. When I was adjusting this so it wasn't sticking way out, I forgot to, one of the times that I was taking it in and out because I wanted to be happy with how much was sticking out, I forgot to completely tighten the other nut, and you can hear the washer in between it. So when I take the cavity cover back off to show you guys the inside, take a couple pictures, I'm going to go ahead and address that issue, because you definitely don't want to hear that. It's one of those little lock washers with the teeth. So I guess I can hang this back up. Now that we recapped that, it's almost done. As soon as I finish setting it up and intonating it, address that input jack. Better take that off. We'll get a sound test on it and all that. But anyways, moving on to your guys's now. So that one's pretty much done. We have to get started on this one. So we're going to have to do a few different videos of getting the parts. I guess what we're going to do today is start with which pickups you guys want in it, which pots, and which capacitors. And then we'll do a video on hardware, and you know, we'll just step by step, we'll get it done. But I think the most important thing right now is the electronics, because if I know what you guys want in it, I can start getting that soldered up. The rest of the stuff is pretty much just bolt on. I did have to do a lot of filing on all the holes for that to get the pots and the tuners to fit because of the extra clear coat and paint and stuff that got into the holes. No big deal, but it's just a little time consuming. I tried using the reamer and other things. We'll do a video on that. That one, it worked out pretty well. I know what to do now. I know what not to do. And we'll talk about that when I do it. So anyhow, this was a 2019 Gibson Les Paul Tribute. And this was a tobacco burst. This was extremely ugly duckling. So it had a really ugly tobacco burst finish on the front. It was satin, and it had a mahogany back with a maple neck. So it had just a full array of all different kinds of browns and tans going on, and it was very, very ugly. That's all I can say. Go back and check out that video. Now, I haven't touched this guitar since I brought it back, so as you can see, there's still compound there in the neck joint and stuff, and I haven't done anything yet to this. All the neck needs cleaned up and everything. So if you're watching for the first time, the subscribers got to pick the color. Oop, I just knocked my corner off. I'll pick it up later. So anyways, everybody got to put their suggestions down of what color they thought this should be. And it ended up to where we had 6 votes for red, 6 for blue, 2 for pink, 3 for burst, 2 for green, 1 sparkle, and 2 other. So it boiled down to red or blue. We decided either candy apple red, or actually this guy is the one that won. Where'd he go? Where is it? Age pale and blue, hot pink, Royal Electric Blue, Tony Roberts. So number 8, Royal Electric Blue from Tony Roberts. He's the one that got the specific blue, because there was a lot of different suggestions of blue in there. So that's how this has been working. I figured I'd grab 2 tributes and I would build one and let you guys build one along the way with me. Because of the little oversight on the tuners, we only have a couple choices on the tuners, but I do have 2 different ways you guys can go with the hardware and all that, and we'll get to it. But let's go ahead and get to these pickups, so I know what you guys are going to want to put in your build. And it is turning out just absolutely beautiful. Again, I haven't touched this. I wiped it off, but I haven't polished it or cleaned any of the compound off. I haven't cleaned the fretboard. I did just purchase, because my other one took a crap, a whole new set of Dremel things, so I can polish frets and all that kind of stuff without doing it by hand, because it takes a lot of time. So anyhow, here we go. These are the pickups that we have in mind for your build. So we have a tone-specific 1959 PAF humbucker. These are brand spanking new. So that is one of your choices for this guitar. The second choice would be these Virgil Arlo 1964s. These are also brand new. So that is another choice to put in the guitar. And then down here I have a brand new without packaging. There's no scratches or nothing on this one yet. This is a Slash Bridge humbucker, and that was from Stratosphere, so it came out of a Gibson Slash guitar. Now over here I have, these are all used, so they do show some aging and stuff. But I just purchased this one. It's a 500T. So the only difference between this one and the one in the bucket head is one in the bucket head is white, but that is what is in a bucket head, a 500T. Up here, we have the pickups out of that 2005 1960 reissue Gibson Les Paul. I got the tuners on the gold top from. So I do have the pots and stuff for that too. So moving on over here, we have a .047 vintage. We got a .033 brown drop, a .01 blue drop, .01 navy drop, .022 orange drop. So those are the capacitors you guys get to pick from. I need to know if you guys want to use a grounding plate or no grounding plate. When you use the grounding plate, you don't have to run the wire to all the different pots for ground. That's the only difference. So if you want to go more vintage style in your build, we can skip the grounding plate, and I can just make sure all the pots are tied together. Again, up to you guys to ground or not to ground with the plate. Pots. Do you guys want 300K linear tapers, or do you want 500K audio tapers? I've been using the 300K linear tapers because when you start to roll from 0 up, you immediately start to get noticeable changes in response from the 300K linear tapers. I'm sure a 500K linear taper would respond the same way, but I don't have any of those. The audio tapers, I've noticed that you can get pretty much to about halfway volume or tone, whatever, before you start noticing any difference. So I've been opting for the 300s. I do have 300K linear tapers and 500K audio tapers. So again, what do you guys want in here? So this is it. We got to make a decision so I can start getting all this stuff put into your build. So you guys get the choice again. 1959 tone specifics, 1964 Virgil Arlos. We have a slash bridge, 500T bridge, and then we got a 490R, 490T out of a 1960 reissue. And then we also have this little volume mod. I don't know if we should use that in a Strat or you can use it in here. I've never messed with those, but that is up for grabs too if you guys want it. So there we go, guys. There's your selection for the pickups and your capacitors, your grounding plate, your pots. Let's get some suggestions down there so I can get to rolling on it. As soon as we're done with this video, I'm going to go ahead and dig into this fretboard and get it looking good again, because that just looks terrible. So there we are, guys. Your build is about to start, and I got mine just about done. Just a few more little tweaks and she will be ready to go. And then eventually we're going to do a video on all of the Lays guitars that we have here. So the copper one, the gold one, the silver burst triple pickup, and the electric blue. And I was going to open up my 50 standard too. That's not a Lays guitar, but I did build that from Stratosphere, and I did all the wiring and pickups in it. So we can compare that to the other ones that I did, the blue one there and the gold one. And then we can compare two that Lays did. They put the silver burst together for me and the copper one for Dad. So that's it right now, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you want in that guitar.